What's going on, you guys? Sephiroth here. This is another devlog. Just basically going over some of the few things right before you get to playtest you guys gonna want to know. So I want to go over a few things that we are working on and some of the cool things that we just added to the game that we actually are going to bring into next gen that we just think that games don't have, and especially Web3 games. These games definitely don't have that. So let's get straight into it. You're gonna live every moment of it. I'll see you when we get started. All right, so what we're going to do is go over some of the few things like the inventory and the decay system that we're going to add into our game now. That we actually add into our game right now. So we're actually redoing the inventory system for like the fourth time. So it was like the fourth time we did this over. And the reason why is because we wanted to bring a new experience into just gaming, and when it comes to the extraction shooter type of style. We didn't want to follow the PUBG style. We didn't want to do the Escape from Tarkov. We just wanted to do something where we are inspired, highly inspired by, which is Resident Evil. So we're also inspired by Grand Theft Auto, of course, but we're very inspired, even like when it comes to the storyline of like the SCP Foundation and stuff like that. They're basically like umbrella, but just we made ours better, of course, obviously, right? But we wanted to follow just the Resident Evil inventory system, but just make it into a survival game. So that's what we wanted to do. At first, we were going to the standard survival game type of way, and now we're actually working on it. We're actually working on it right now to basically mirror Resident Evil 4 remake, which is one of my favorite games already. Remake is one of my favorite games of all time. Resident Evil 4 was one of my favorite games, and it was also my co-dev Daniel was one of his favorite games as well. So before we even played the remake, before the remake even came out, we just wanted to make a game, on a horror aspect of like horror and action, but just horror, survival, and action. We wanted to copy Resident Evil 4. Not copy like complete copy because we're just we're inspired by three different games: Escape from Tarkov, Resident Evil 4, and Grand Theft Auto. So it was impossible for us just to copy that. But we just wanted to copy some aspects. So once I played Resident Evil 4 remake, he's going to play it soon. But I played it. We seen the inventory system on that. We just wanted to basically redo that, but just in our type of way. And we wanted to bring that into the Web3 style. Well, Web3 industry, not the Web3 style. There's no such thing as Web3 style. The style here, I guess, is garbage. I don't know. But we wanted to create a Web3 game with this type of inventory system where you just won't see any type of game. If you see our game, come on, you won't see something being built like this until we actually come out. Gamers accept, like, okay, well, it's one project that's for gamers, created by gamers, and actually was done correctly, and maybe we could be the blueprint for other games. I believe that indie studios is the only people that should make Web3 games. That's just my opinion. I don't believe that AAA companies should make Web3 games because then corporate greed will come into play. But I do believe that indie games that make good indie games should use Web3 to communicate with the community and also allow that community to be a part of what they're building. That's what I think. This is what we're doing, and that's basically what we're doing. So, we're not, doing no speculating. We completely remove speculation from our game. We don't even talk about price action, money, or any type of thing when it comes to our game, right? So we do have an ecosystem, but we don't like to talk about it because that's not important. We talk about the game, what the game is going to be about. So, further ado, I just wanted to get all that thing. Let's get into the inventory. So let's get straight into it, and I'm going to show you something. So before we get into the screen, we're going to jump in the screen right here. What I want to do is explain something. Me and Daniel was in two different countries, so I work on the environment. He works on some of the gameplay loops and stuff like that. Just basically the core gameplay loops and making it AAA, which I'm an indie developer. He's actually a AAA developer, so he actually making all of the gameplay loops that I've created and just redoing them and making them AAA quality. And that's basically what we got him on the team for, and that's why he's a co-dev. So I just basically now just work on some coding on certain things. Like I did the decaying effect, but some of the things that you'll see, it's like floating in the water and stuff like that. You'll see some type of things. Like I've added some code to that. But he does all the hard, difficult stuff. stuff. Like this inventory system that I'm going to show you guys is very difficult, but he's working on it. And this is what it used to look like before. You guys see all the pretty stuff like you see in the trailer. We had to basically, so you guys can understand how game development works, so you won't be listening to these guys that's saying they're going to create a game but know nothing about game design or game development. Basically what happens is I create the map, he creates basically the gameplay in the game, right? And then what we do is we put it together, and he sends me the updates to the files and stuff like that, and I just basically put it into the map. So just why you will see mannequins on the map, and then in this right here you'll see like there's basically no map here because he doesn't actually have the map. I have the map, and then he has the code. So he has the code, I have the map, we put them together, boom, you get the video game. And that's normally how it works inside of game development. All right, so let's get into the screen and I'll explain this right here. So this is where we started working with like adding enemies, like this bug right here. We have no recoil in the game right now, but we will be working on that when we start working on the stats of the guns and stuff like that to control the recoil of that. So right here we're changing this obviously. We have it where you can loot the enemy, but it's gonna look better than this. It's actually gonna look almost like we're probably gonna do multiple versions of it, or it's like if it's an animal pouch will come up or something like that, like you carve an animal or something like that. And if it's a human, like a bag will pop up, something like that. So we're figuring out what we're gonna do with that. But this is what it used to look like. It used to look like this. We wanted to follow the old Resident Evil thing, but once we play Resident Evil, this does not look like this. This is just this is basically when we first came up with the idea of how we wanted to do the health thing, because the health thing used to be like a heart appearance and percentages. But we was like, okay, let's follow some more of the Resident Evil, the heartbeat monitor, and then we just put this here for a placeholder to get to where we actually make the heartbeat monitor. So we're still working on those things. You actually see inside of the new inventory. But we used to have this here. We took this away. We removed all this here, and we're actually going to make it really cool on the new inventory. So it's going to look like the Resident Evil 4 remake inventory, but it's going to have like survival game aspects that you guys will see. We don't have it done yet, but we're actually working on that as we speak right now. So we used to have these things right here, where you will see like on the inventory side, and it's a secret bag. But the secret bag is where people cannot loot from. So if you put those, if you put inside things inside that secret bag, people can't loot from it. Depending on the membership key that you have, the bigger the secret bag will be. But this secret bag people can't loot from. Then you have the regular inventory. We keep in that system, but we're just making it look much better. You have energy right here, so your character gets tired from like running around, doing certain things. Obviously, you have the hunger, which you get hungry, you gotta take care of yourself, eat. Then you have water, thirst, so it's like drinking and stuff like that, obviously in survival games. And then you have fear, which is basically your character can get scared. And if they get scared, how we would, some of the fear system is inside of the game for like you can go in certain buildings and your character will get scared from the building, depending on their bravery level. So if your character is brave, they won't get scared going to certain buildings, seeing certain creatures, getting shot by certain ammo, stuff like that. So that was type of things like that. And then you got the temperature right here. But this is the old system, and this is something that we didn't want to go with. So this is basically like how Resident Evil 2 remake was. We said we didn't want to follow that. Once we seen Resident Evil 4 remake, we said I like that. Let's go with that right there. We both agree that system is way better than remake 2. So we just said scrap that. We're gonna redo it again, and that's what we're doing right now. So now you will see we have the heartbeat monitor right here. We're still moving again. You'll see some of the things. A lot of the stuff is going to change. Like everything that you see is going to change. Even heartbeat monitor actually going to like make it look really decent, obviously. But now you actually see the grid. So we're getting the grid together. First we had to put the grid there. Then we had to be able to put the items to be able to go in there. And then we had to put the items to be able to be sizable and all that stuff like that. Next, what we're working on tomorrow is rotating the items, and then we do the drop down list and all that stuff like that. So we're doing things here that you won't actually see being done in this space, because in the space people aren't game developers, they're not game designers, they don't understand what makes cool games and good games. So we actually wanted to use the system of Resident Evil 4, the inventory system of that right there, because I think that in the survival game that has that suitcase mechanic, it's the way you gotta basically play Tetris to keep your items inside of the side of the thing. It's going to be pretty cool. So what we're actually going to do is have a duffel bag. So it's actually instead of a suitcase, because we don't want to have a suitcase, because you're actual a D class personnel that you escaped the SAP Foundation. So you actually have bag. You will have a bag. As you can see right now, we're starting to use the mesh for the character and stuff like that. As you guys see, he uses the regular one. I use the guy with the tattoos all over his face. So when he sends this back to me, it would be this guy, and then I would just have to just basically just use this one until we basically put the character creations. What the character creation is going to be fire. I promise you. It's going to be we're actually being inspired by Grand Theft Auto's character creation, but we actually want to do it in the SCP Foundation way. So you guys, I can't wait for you guys to see that. So let's go into it. So as you guys can see, we have the money right here. Yeah, so we have the money, and now you're able to move the money anywhere on this grid. And basically, like, so if you have like assault rifle right here, bottles of water, blood packs, medical kits, all types of things like that, you'd be able to basically, play Tetris and stuff like that. Now you see the blocks here. Those, again, as you can see, the cars. This is where we do all the coding at. Code the cars, all that type of stuff like that. Code the ammo, code the. This is basically where everything is done at on his side, and then we have it, and then we just put them on my thing. So now we're actually showing you something different that Resident Evil 4 doesn't do, that we will be bringing. Is when you drop items, they will actually appear on the ground. So on Resident Evil 4 remake, you drop items, it just disappears. And here, you drop the items, you can actually re-pick it up just in case, you want to give it to somebody or something like that. You can do such things like that. You can actually drop the item and it will appear in front of you. So that's pretty one cool thing. Another thing we're going to do is when you pull the bag up, right? So again, you guys are actually getting to see like behind the scenes of how games are made. This is actually how we created our car, this is just one of the customizations. So this is the car and the bike customizations. There's two different customizations, but this is the car and bike customization. This is how we did it. This is actually how we will do the planes, the boats, and all that stuff like that too. So you guys should get to see behind the scenes. So when you see it on the trailer, it looks crazy on the trailer. It looks like this. This is what it looks like at the beginning. So you guys did, we actually wanted to show you something pretty cool right here. That's what I wanted to do with this devlog. So next thing that you guys will be able to see soon, you'll see that you'll be able to click a bag, and on Resident Evil, on the bag, you will see when you click on the bag, another inventory will pop up, and depending on how good the bag is or the perks that the bag comes with, it will come with different grid sizes. So, and you'll be able to drag the items from one inventory to the other inventory. So they basically three different inventories. It'll be a secret inventory, so like a secret grid, like which would make it like a pocket. And then we will have the bag, and then you'll have another bag. So secret wears, but like if you have like if you don't have a membership key at all, it'd be 4. You can just basically put like some money there and a key or whatever the case may be. Tyro, it goes a little more. The survival, et cetera, right? You had those type of things right there. So we wanted to actually just show you this right here and just bring something different to the space. Now, what I want to do is get back to my screen, talk to you a little bit, and then I just want to basically show you the decaying feature right quick. All right, so now that you guys seen the inventory, I think it's pretty cool. You guys are going to love it when we're finished it. We'll be working on it like bettering it throughout time. But when you play test it and you actually get to see how the inventory, you guys are gonna love it because it's like playing Tetris and stuff like that. And you actually will see the character. We're putting a lot of work inside of like Web3 game that these people who are building these games, put 20 years around it, who are building these games just won't put work in it. It's asset flips. They just basically buy things, buy systems, and then just asset flip it, right? So we're actually working on building things here. So what I want to do is show you that we're not just asset flipping a map. We're actually building it, but this is what I'm doing right now. I'm building it, so I'm going to do is show you that. So let's get into that right quick. So right now what you do is you see me actually working on the junkyard. So I actually basically had to do the map all over again, and the reason why I had to do the map over again is because the last map that I had, I actually migrated it over to the code, and I did it wrong and actually messed up the map. So I just basically had to redo the map, and I wanted to do it over anyway. So I'm basically doing it over right now. So um, the junkyard is being redone. Now, as you can see right here, you see a dead body inside of a pile of like skulls, helmets, and stuff like that. So that's basically I wanted to show that, you know, you go here, you don't see anything. There's just a dead body. Right here, I'm going to actually make that container where you guys can actually go in there and actually go behind. So it's a secret thing. I'm actually going to change it so because you guys see it now. So I'm going to change it to somewhere in here where you guys got to find that, and it takes you to a secret place. But yeah, so I want to just walk around, run around, show you basically how things looking and everything. Show you how things looking. The junkyard will be like a maze that you guys will be able to go into and fight each other in. And you had to go in and then you get out. So I believe that this is SCP 100. If it's not 100, it's 101. Where Jamaican Joe. So with the type of enemies that you'll face here is like robot enemies and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. If you know about the SCP Foundation, you know the lore behind the graveyard, and this is that graveyard right here. So now as you go, you can see that the body is turning black. It's actually turning like brown, black. So it's actually getting darker. So I'm going to walk away now again. And then you'll see start to see like maggots and stuff. Actually, I think they're popping up right now. So yeah, they're actually starting to pop up. You start to see like maggots grow in his body and stuff like that. And this is how we're planning to bring the next generation to Web3 games, next gen gaming to Web3 games. Here's our water system. You go in there, you see we're still working on it. So it'll actually it will wet the floor and stuff like that. You actually can see it, and it's going to be pretty crazy. But we wanted to make it look as realistic as possible. And you know, so that's one of the things. So how the decay system is going to work? It's going to be bananas. We wanted to have it where you guys, when you kill enemies, they will actually decay away. So it'll be there for a few minutes, like 5 minutes, whatever the case may be. And then as their body is there on the ground and people walking past it, you'll start to see that body decay in real time. As you can see, the body is decaying right now. And that's pretty cool. So it's actually decaying. You see the body starting to look different. And this is what happens with game player characters and just enemies that you kill inside of the game as well. So here I'll just basically just zoom out to show you that this is no asset flip pack. This ain't nothing. I'm actually really building this thing right here. So this is actually going to be the highway right here. So that's what that is. All right, so now that you got all that done, now that you guys get to see that, that is the devlog for this right here. And I thank you for actually watching the video just to learn a little more of how we're working on here and getting ready for the playtest. Hope you learned a lot from what we're doing, and I'm actually going to show you a lot more that we got coming. Some new enemies that we're adding to the game, some new enemies that we have in the game, and just basically explaining the AI and what we're planning on doing with these guys, which is completely bananas. Hope you guys enjoying what you're seeing, and if you got any questions, you know what to do. Comment below, I'll answer, and also join our Discord. Come talk to us. We actually hang out. We're actually friends here, so it's not about price actions and nothing like that. We don't see people as numbers. We actually see you as family members, and we are basically a village and stuff like that. So just come mess with us. You'll like us. Trust me. You come in there, you won't even think that we're a Web3 project. So with that being said, I'm out.